Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Disc Coverers, the only podcast that reads, reviews, and ranks all 41 of Terry Pratchett's seminal comic fantasy novel series, The Disc World. I am your host, Iris J. Pronouns are she or zare if you're spicy. And with me are my delightful co-hosts joining me back again for another rip-rollicking podcast adventure. Why don't you introduce yourselves, Belina, then Grace, then June.
I am still Belina, still she/they/CB. As always, just happy to be here.
Hi, I'm the internet's beloved Princess Grace. She, her, fey, fear, fair, if you're spicy. A pleasure.
Hi, I'm Juniper. I'm lovely. Everyone thinks I'm amazing. I read a book today. Did you all read a book today?
Oh boy. No, I read mine like 2 weeks
probably
ago.
A lot better than what I did.
This episode was a little
I
delayed
don't know.
due to life stuff.
Due to me going to England, let's be clear. Going to Scotland, in fact.
Wow.
Yeah, it's different.
Not England.
You got to see Lancre for real.
Yeah. Did you see any Nac Mac Feegles?
No, I mostly saw the building that looks like a turd.
Oh, that's also pretty good.
Well, that's all right then. Anyways, we read The Wintersmith this time. Another Tiffany Aching novel. I believe it is, by my count, that is the 35th book in the series. We're getting close to the end here. And
Weird.
Another young adult offering. Yeah, I totally hadn't experienced any of the Tiffany Aching series before this, so this is all terra incognita to me. And it's been neat watching the series kind of grow and develop as the books go on. It's been really interesting.
I mean, I guess it's worth noting that, including this one, there are 7 books remaining, and 4 of them are Tiffany Aching books.
Weird.
So,
really?
Half of what's coming up... wait.
No, that
no,
can't be
I'm
right.
sorry, 3 of them. Three of them. Sorry, not 4, 3. I can't count. Off by 1 error. Happens all the time. But that's still nearly half of them.
Oh god, there's only 7 books left.
Yeah.
We're gonna finish next year?
We're going to finish next year, yeah. This pandemic project will finally
Wait,
wrap.
what's the 7th one?
Wow.
The Shepherd's Crown, right?
No, because there's
Yes.
Making Money, Unseen Academicals, Extra, Wear Midnight, Snuff, Raising Steam, and the Shepherd's Crown. That's 6.
Oh, that's 6.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Because Wintersmith is 7.
This
This
is
one's
7, yeah.
Oh god.
Whoa. 6 more left.
Fucked up.
That's
I don't
whack.
want it to end.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, we are. We got 7 more books to get through first, and one of them we read, and we're excited to talk to you about it this time. But we can't talk to you about it before we at least go over a brief summary of what the book was about. And for that, we must, as ever, turn to our expert synoptrix, Belina. Whenever you're ready, Belina, feel free to take it away at your leisure.
Tiffany Aching, now 13, is still an apprentice witch. She's currently training under Miss Eumenides' treason. She is taken to see the Dark Morris, a counterpart to the Morris dance that welcomes the oncoming winter. Despite advice to the contrary, and perhaps due to her connection to the chalk, Tiffany feels compelled to join in the dance itself and accidentally finds herself entwined in the dance between summer and winter. The personification of winter, the titular Wintersmith, suddenly finds himself torn from metaphor and forced to think and act like a person, deciding that he must now court Tiffany, who is herself starting to manifest traits of the personification of summer. While his advances start innocently enough, making patterns in the frost and returning a lost piece of jewelry, Tiffany's rejections cause him to misguidedly aid his attempts, seeking to make himself more human and intensifying the winter to the deepest and living memory. Tiffany is forced to balance helping with the ensuing chaos alongside Miss Treason's funeral, the resulting turf war of her territory, the creeping influence of summer on her person, and the ever-deepening storms burying the mountains in snowflakes banging her face. As winter starts to drag into the territory of spring, Tiffany returns home to the chalk and is snatched away by the Wintersmith to his domain. While he believes that by keeping her here will allow them to be happy together forever, Tiffany manifests enough of summer to know that in the end summer must kill winter, and with a kiss melts him and his kingdom away. With that, the knot is untied, and alongside Roland and the Feegles, who I promise I didn't forget, but nothing they did was terribly important until now, finding and bringing back the actual summer, things can get back to normal. We close on Tiffany watching the regular Morris dancers welcoming the oncoming of spring. And that's probably the shortest one of those summaries that I've done in a long time, and I still... I feel like I cut things out, but I didn't cut out anything load-bearing, and that's... I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing.
Yeah, no, this was mostly a... in keeping with the other previous two Tiffany Aching books, not a ton actually happens in this book. There aren't as many moving parts as in the adult novels.
It's mostly it's a lot of vibes.
Yeah.
In a good way, I think.
No, he's an Akbar pork.
But it is a lot of just here's how Tiffany feels in this situation. Here's the way a lot of people are kind of reacting to things. There isn't really any... People don't really do things. They just kind of react to things getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
It's...
Yeah, which I guess, I would say I would give this book a little bit more leeway in that regard than previous books, because unlike... this is it's winter, so it's kind of it feels like when people are reacting to things getting worse, it's kind of it's the weather. Things are awful. This is about weathering hard times, really.
There's also a lot
rather than just there is a scary woman and she is trying to steal my brother.
There's also a lot of even though things aren't really happening in a lot of ways, there's not really the plot in that way. There's a lot of other plots happening, like Tiffany trying to figure out how to deal with your half summer now, or Tiffany dealing with the other girl who took over the house and is doing a fucked up job of it, or Tiffany dealing with old witch dying. Those are all little plots that are interesting. They're fun to see what happens. It's fun to follow those.
Mm-hmm.
The whole, and the world might be ending because of the witch is its own plot. Having just that as a threat hanging over the novel honestly works pretty well, I think.
It is funny because that sort of aspect of it really reminded me a lot of, and I've mentioned her on the show before, really reminded me a lot of Diana Wynne Jones's work, especially her work for very young adult, for kids. Because a lot of the conflicts in her books don't just come from, there is a bad guy, watch out! But also so many of her books are about I've been kind of put in an impossible situation, and then not only do I have to worry about how do I get out of this impossible situation, but there's a bunch of other little side things, and they're constantly nibbling at me, and I have to deal with those as well, and I'm really being stretched thinner than I'd like. And this book feels really of a piece with that that flavor of writing, just a nebulous big problem compounded with a lot of more immediate small but aggravating problems.
Yeah.
And that's very adult sort of situation to be in for a kid's book. I don't know.
It's good. It works really well, I think.
It's not terribly uncommon for young adult books to spend more time inside of their protagonist's head. And, that's not unique to specifically the Tiffany Aching books. Our biggest complaint about What did we just do before this? Why am I blanking on the name?
Thud.
The preceding Tiffany Aching book was a Hatful of Sky, I believe.
Hatful of Sky.
Okay. The frustrating thing is that I was conflated. I was trying to remember the name Going Postal. But our biggest complaint about the Going Postal adaptation was that it spent zero time inside of Moise's head. And that is a spending time inside the character's head is common enough in Discworld books, but it seems to be the central point of Tiffany Aching books because, again, it's young adult. It is about exploring how this character is dealing with things, and most of that takes place interior. And to its credit, we spend a lot of time in the Wintersmith's head, as this thing is trying to be forced to be human, which there's been 3 books now, so I can say that there's a pattern of it. Tiffany does not go up against people. Tiffany goes up against concepts. She goes up against monsters. She does not go up against people, which is different from Discworld. I think one of the things that makes Discworld different is that the villains are always people. But this is the first time that she's been dealing with something that is actually well, no, that's not true, because the Hiver was trying to be people and wasn't any good at it. The Elf Queen was kind of trying to be people, but didn't really care enough to do it.
I mean, I think that's a theme of the books, is that it's all things that aren't people, that are sort of people, that are becoming people, or don't want to be people, or pretending to be people. It's that weird middle ground, that border zone.
The Elf Queen didn't give a shit. The Hiver it was completely alien. It had no chance. But the Wintersmith comes closer to being human than anything that she's had to fight so far.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the Wintersmith has a whole like Edward Elric ass poem to help him.
Yeah. It's interesting. That I hadn't considered that angle before, and it's interesting that like that kind of mirrors Tiffany slowly growing into defining more and more of who she is as a person. It's like it's kind of steel sharpened steel kind of a thing, where as she rubs up against these other extremely non-human type antagonists, she kind of sharpens a little bit more and figures out a little bit more how she as a person wants to live her life and do her witchcraft.
She does more active witching in this book than she has in previous books.
Yeah. We start in medias res with her doing some witch shit.
She obviously is a witch in this book in a way that she hasn't been.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, she spends most of the time doing witch politics.
Yeah, for God's sake, she successfully just has Anagramma tied up around her finger by the end of the book, and everybody knows that, or at least everybody on the inside does. The villagers,
everyone who matters.
Yeah, everyone who matters.
I like Anagramma in this book. I like her at the end. Mm-hmm. She's such an ass most of the way through, but I like her a lot. I don't know. I really liked where she ended up.
She reminds me of a lot of some people I know, where she learned something after the end of the last book, but she learned just enough and decided not to introspect at all after that. Just she's still kind of a weird dick.
Pratchett manages to capture a little bit of just like a weird sadness to her, where she knows a little bit how lonely she is. But like, not entirely. She's still a weird dick. Like, not entirely. You know, like she can learn that, but she's still going to be an asshole about it.
And I want to be clear. I say that she's a weird dick in a positive, loving way.
Okay, she sucks and I love her.
No, she's great. She's a wonderful element of the story.
We need a foil for Petulia, who's great.
Yeah, Petulia is MVP. Rocking it. You know how hard it is to work with pigs? It's really hard. She's a really good pig witch, so she's really respected.
I wouldn't want to work with pigs. It seems like it sucks.
Yeah. I was listening to the freaking who was talking? Was it in here? No, it was somewhere else where there was like this like no, it was I think my friend Farah who brought it up, where there was like a Grimm's fairy tale in the original book of Grimm's fairy tales. It's basically like a 2-pager. It's a short one. And the story basically goes like, all the parents of the town said not to go near the pig pens and don't go near the pigs. But the kids thought, maybe I'll go near the pigs. And then they went near the pigs. And then the pigs ate the kids. And then the parents were like, where are our kids? And then the pigs ate the parents. The moral is, don't go near the pigs. The end.
Good advice.
Yeah, that sounds like one of those.
If you go far enough back, all children's stories are just, and then the children died because they didn't listen to their parents.
The children died because they got eaten by pigs. The moral is pigs are scary. Don't go near the pigs.
Yeah, I have a very early formative memory of my parents. We like boarded horses. We would keep other people's horses on our property, for money. And my first horse memory is my parents saying, "Don't walk behind Bucko. He'll kick you, and you'll die." Not in so many words, but like. And I did not go near a horse for quite some time after that.
Valid. Yeah. I would not go near a horse for quite some time behind that.
It's good advice. Don't walk behind a horse.
One of my sisters did not get seriously injured when she got kicked by a horse, but that's because the horse sent her flying.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
So she was very lucky that way.
Yeah. I was like 6 years old at the time. Mm-hmm. Especially good advice at that point.
It's good advice to carry with you throughout your life.
Yeah.
I love horses, but I would not stand behind one.
Yeah.
Don't want to end up like that guy in Quest for Camelot. I'm sure we've all seen the movie Quest for Camelot. The main the main guy who got his
quest for that Camelot.
Yeah, who got his kicked in the head so hard by a horse he went blind, and then he got kicked in the head again and he could see again. I don't want that.
So, the moral of the story is as long as you get kicked an even number of times, you're fine.
I guess he got kicked to the other side of his head and he popped the dent out or something. Anyways, I don't want that to happen. But yeah, no, Tiffany does a lot more witching in this book, and it talks a lot more about the internal politics of witching, which is some shit that I fucking love, being a fan of the original witch novels. It's really funny how we have come so far from, like, the first, like, Weird Sisters was like, there are these 3 weird old crones out on the moors, and they're just so isolated in this. And now it's like, well, no, there's this whole, like, it's like a job. Every witch knows each other, and there's a lot of, like, internal, like drama, and it's really funny how things evolve to that point.
It's very important, though, that they all bicker like those 3 crones did way back in Weird Sisters. Yeah. They're all like this all the time with everyone.
It's completely consistent, but it's just we have broadened the scope of our view into the internal politics of witches.
On this note, I loved Mrs. Tick in this book. I loved her as I love her, like, weird foil for Granny, where, like, because Granny so rarely actually gets shown up by anybody because she's the best at everything. She's one of Pratchett's default, this character's the best at everything and will win every fight in the end and you can't beat them characters. But just in all the little moments where Granny has to be like, well, okay, so Tiffany does want to hear the logical book explanation, or, okay, you are a witch and you do know things, and has to respect her as, like, a fellow witch. And there's just this annoying tension between the two of them where they don't like each other, but definitely do respect each other. It's very fun. I really love that. And we got Nanny Ogg.
She is very, like, yeah, we got Nanny Ogg in this. Oh my god, my girl. It is fun to see an interpretation of, like, safe for children Nanny Ogg.
Yeah, they only talk about how much sex she has a little bit.
Remarkably restrained. But she's still here and she's delightful. To the point where, like, Tiffany lives at her house for a while, and that's great.
Oh, she's fantastic. I love her, like, very down-to-earth practical response to things. I love Tiffany's responses to her, where Tiffany immediately realizes how, like, oh, this is a really, really powerful and worrying witch. It's fine though. That's just everyone I know. But this lady is very powerful, and I know it just because I've told her my entire life story for no reason.
Terry's always good at this sort of thing, but I made a special note of, like, how he really captures the magic of sharing a dirty joke with an old person, especially when you're a kid and you're, like, just old enough to get it. It is truly special.
Yeah, it's cute.
The gears turn in her head. She puts the pieces together. Is this about sex?
Hey.
All of the witches have, like, a fun dynamic to them in this way. It's very, very, it's very fun. It also helps a lot with kind of one of my biggest issues with some of the previous books, which is just nobody tells Tiffany anything. She's just kind of on her own a lot of the time because she's surrounded by witches who are being like, I can't say things about stuff. But here it feels a lot more reasonable, and a lot of people just do tell her things. Like, Nanny Ogg and Mrs. Tick are just like, okay, yeah, we'll just talk about it. It's fine to talk about it.
And the stuff that doesn't get covered isn't like, we must keep it a secret for your own safety. It's more just like, is it the Wintersmith and Elemental? I don't know why he's doing what he's doing. This has never happened before. All we could do is wait and watch, and you just ride it out, kiddo. Good luck.
Yeah, there's a real sense of, like, all right, this is fucked. Well, hopefully it turns out okay. We'll figure this out as best we can. Good luck, kid.
We're
gonna play it by ear a little bit.
We're gonna see what happens, and then we'll know what to do if this ever happens again, which hopefully it won't.
No one's ever lived to tell the tale, but one guy managed to write it down anyways.
Yeah, I thought that was great. I like that also. Like, it is interesting that, like, the witches are very much their own thing in this book, but, like, everybody else up in the mountains is kind of like Up in the mountains, everybody else is kind of like just sort of like background NPCs. They don't really matter. They're just kind of faceless, like a collectively referred to gaggle of people. But when Tiffany, in the third act of the book, when Tiffany gets back onto the chalk and things really start kicking into like winter, it feels so much more like the people around her are like more significant because they're the people that have been surrounding her for her entire life. It feels, you can really feel that sense of coming home from out of the world of witches and back into the world of sheep farming and the chalk where she's used to, which, I don't know. I feel like it was a really subtle way to kind of shift that, but to make it really feel like the stakes have been raised, that like this is now in her place of power and she has to do something about it.
Yeah.
The bits of her, of like her father coming to her and just asking her to do witchy shit, and she just kind of realizes that, I'm the only person within 100 miles that can actually do this. I need to step up, and oh my god, my dad is treating me like my grandmother.
Yeah. Pretty wild. And also like very like, man, the moment when like your parents start treating you like another adult, moreover an adult who maybe has a little bit of power over them, that's like a scary time in a kid's life.
Yeah.
It's
the fact that she is both terrified and knows full well that she cannot let on that she is terrified, because if she does, then nothing she does after that is going to work, because it's as much as important that she be seen doing things with authority, or what's the point?
If there is one theme in this book, it is realizing that you are kind of alone in your struggle and you have to just do it anyways, and then doing it. Pratchett writes a lot of characters who do that.
I mean, I was going to tie this, because that all wraps back around to Boffo.
Yeah.
Which was
talk about that. Talk about Miss Treason.
God.
Love her.
I love Miss
So
Treason
good.
so much. Just, this woman with this horrifying reputation that most of it is she seeded herself. It's just nobody knows that because she seeded these stories back 70-odd years ago. And all of the accoutrement throughout her cottage is stuff that she bought out of a joke book.
Yeah.
But
she's going down to Archie McPhee's and getting some plastic skulls. It's so good.
Was literally going to mention Archie McPhee. Hell yeah.
It just hit me that this is the exact same thing we see Mrs. Tick doing with the book at the beginning about how to kill witches. That it's the same, like
exact same thing.
Yeah, I was like, why was that in the book? It didn't really fit with things, but no, it's literally the exact same thing. Oh my god.
I mean, this whole thing of you have to look the part, you have to act the part, you have to have what people expect to see when they see in you. I mean, that's been common. That goes all the way back to the Color of Magic. That's always been there. This is the first time that a central part of the story has been, okay, you need to understand how much this shapes everything you do, everything about how you function in society.
Even when she's dying, and she's like, shit, fuck, they can't see me without my skulls. You messed up my hair. I can't look too good. She goes to the grave, like, still doing her job.
Reaching down and stopping the clock on her belt because everyone thinks it's her heart.
That's so
gotta
cool.
give him a show.
But that means that she's going to live forever after that. People are going to be remembering her name in the mountains forever after that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So cool.
And more importantly, the way that she just completely transforms the moment she realizes that Tiffany has caught on. Just everything about that.
I also really like that with Miss Treason, like, it's not that she isn't an impressive witch, because she is. She is constantly borrowing the eyes, ears, and senses of other surrounding animals so that she can see, because she's very old and very sensorially disabled. But it's not a problem for her because she's basically used to flipping between the animals in her surrounding domicile and neighborhood so that it's literally not a problem. And that's how she manages the whole, like, I can see everything sort of trick. But that's not the trick that people know her for. The trick that people know her for is she is the scary lady on the loom who does all the witchy spooky stuff. Which is a great little piece of sleight of hand.
It's not too hard to imagine that, 80 years prior, she was no better at this than Tiffany or Anagramma.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she very much was. She faked it until she made it, and she's had decades to make it.
Yeah, something I really love about this is the way that kind of one of the default things that every witch is a shitty asshole narcissist. Like, every single witch thinks they're better than every other witch on some level, and just tamps that down at all times. And this is kind of, in the end, this is like, in a weird way, Anagramma's redeeming factor is that Tiffany is just like, well, she's an asshole. She thinks she's better than everyone. But, like, I mean, she's a witch. Of course she does. That's normal. Duh.
Once she can back it up a little more, she'll be fine.
I think I want to add on to that. It's not just that they're all like these self-absorbed narcissistic assholes. I think it's also that they are all. A lot of them are deeply insecure about it.
Oh yeah.
All of them seem to feel like they're not measuring up to some other witch in the coven. I mean, everybody looks up to Granny Weatherwax, but everybody is always looking up to somebody else in this book.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. You can't tell if you're better than everybody else if you don't have a community of everybody else's easily available to use as a yardstick. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be able to tell you how I know about this at all. Speaking as somebody in the creative industry.
Me, when I go to work and I see all my other coworkers asking Claude to do their work for them.
Oh, boy.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it cures my imposter syndrome.
Yeah, certainly can't help. Or can't hurt.
Yeah, at least you're not asking autocorrect to do your job. Yeah. Yeah, this book was cool. What did y'all think of the Wintersmith himself? I wanted to ask about that.
Okay, it is very important that every Tiffany Aching book's antagonist, along with all the other stuff I said, that they all are somebody that I am personally deeply jealous of. We had the Elf Queen the first book, we had the weird alien hive mind the second book, this time we got the personification of winter. It is very important that it's somebody that I am deeply envious and jealous of by their very nature to make them an effective antagonist.
I think the next book will stop that trend, but we will see.
I'm very good at being proven wrong, so...
Yeah, if you're into the whole, like, what if I wasn't a person thing, then...
Very good
oh, man, you're eating good in this series.
They're so good for that. He was interesting. There's a lot... There's a sense that he just can't do it, that he can't be human, that really... The line there isn't as defined as it has been in other books. That line, instead it's just kind of that he fails. It feels more like going back to like older books like Mort and such, where it's just like, oh, this thing is trying but failing, than it is like some of the later books you'd see where there's a real, this thing is becoming human.
I mean, the Wintersmith's downfall is the fact that there's literally nobody for him to talk to. Like, he is going mad in isolation because that's just what happens when a person is deprived of any context.
I will say, I do love, he did have one of my favorite jokes in the entire book, which is him, when he becomes a human, he starts singing a song, and the song is like a orchestral arrangement of like Uberwald in Winter or something. That's like was a thing, and it just says that he once heard it while he was a snowstorm blowing past like the Ankh-Morpork Opera House. Was like, wow, how did they capture winter so well in a song? Just like, okay,
but more importantly, he doesn't understand that you're only supposed to sing the people parts.
Oh, yeah.
So it's basically he opens his mouth and he's an MP3 player playing the entire orchestra.
I just love the idea of him like hearing the musical song that is meant to represent winter and going like, wow, you really did it. That's me. Great job.
Wow. Damn. That's just me. Like me for real, though.
he does later get kind of puppy with it.
That's great. Yeah, it's all things Strive, but like, kind of...
They do.
with the asterisk of, okay, but this kind of strive, I guess, is kind of bad. I thought it was interesting, too, that when Tiffany started taking on aspects of summer as well, because that's kind of like balancing the books in terms of the whole yin and yang relationship going on. And I also think that it was interesting that during the whole book, there was really, like, Tiffany had a lot of, like, conflicted feelings over, like, well, this is very bad, and it's going to kill me and everyone I love if I let it go on. But also, I mean, Wintersmith maybe kind of hot. Maybe could, I don't know, whatever a 13-year-old's idea of getting it is, as in hold hands and maybe do a kiss.
Yeah. It's interesting, especially because it feels very juvenile. Like, it's very, like, not actually I'm interested in this romantically, just very, it's cool that someone is pursuing me. It's cool that someone is thinking I'm so cool. I'm enjoying the attention. I'm enjoying the...
Yeah, like, how can you not be at least a little flattered?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially while you're getting goddess TF'd.
Yeah.
And you get to meet Anoia!
Yeah!
Yes! Yes!
This is real! We finally get to meet her!
I love her so much. I saw her and was just like, this is the best. I'm so happy. Oh.
I'm so glad you finally got to meet your girl.
I love her so fucking much.
Special guest appearance. She shows up. It's great. She smokes. Of course she does. It's perfect.
Yes.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love that she smokes because she used to be a volcano goddess. I love her so much. She's just my favorite.
We need Anoia fanfic. Folks, I know we've asked you for fanfic a lot, and we haven't gotten any of it. But this time...
To our knowledge.
This time... You know, people who fish, fishermen and fisherwomen, do not complain when they throw their line out all day and they don't catch any fish. I mean, maybe they do, but they don't stop fishing because of that. And we will not stop fishing for obscure, esoteric Discworld fan fiction.
I don't know who you ship Anoia with, but with anybody really.
Oh, you don't need to ship her with anybody. I just want to read more about, you know, what's she doing? What's she up to?
Pleased to report there are 10 fics on AO3 that mention Anoia in the tags.
Yes.
One of her hanging out with Adora Bell. At least two of her hanging out with Moist.
Fuck yeah. Let's fucking go.
Love wins.
She's so good.
Oh, sorry. Two of those are, I think, the same thing. Because one's an audio adaptation of Radio Killed the Semaphore Star.
Oh, okay.
Discworld fanfic often has very good names.
Yeah.
I respect it for that.
I don't even have to read the description. You already know what it's about.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But no, I love her
that's
so
great.
much. She's great. This book is like, it's in that category that a lot of the not as top tier Discworld books end up in, where I'm like, this isn't really blowing me away, but I like it. I really enjoyed it. It's a really good time.
Yeah.
There's some good bits.
There's a lot of good bits.
It's
learned really fun to read.
I learned that a chicken run is like a place and not just the title of a film. I learned that that's a pun after all these years.
Yeah. It's a real thing.
It's got some good moments. Yeah. What did y'all think of the ending?
I wrote down head slop.
What?
I know it was like 2 weeks. It was like 2 weeks ago. I don't remember all the context.
Okay. I did think there was something a little bit weird there, because every one of these books, Tiffany has taken something along forward with her. Like she got the horse pendant from the first book. She got, a fucking head mate from the second book. And for a while there, she had that little iron ring made out of the nail that she had one of the blacksmiths curl it into a ring shape and put a little snowflake on it. And I thought that was just going to be something that she just had going forward, but she gives it away, possibly to just sort of take apart that notion that she would have to carry all of this with her.
Yeah.
But
I kind of like that, because then it's like, well, okay, as you grow, I mean, the whole point of the book is like balance, right? And it's like, as you grow, it shouldn't just be about accumulating more and more exponentially. It's also, you also have to like there are things you'll have to give up. There are things you'll have to sacrifice, whether that's a physical item or maybe a feeling of like a crush that you that stays unrequited, or maybe a sense of home that you have to kind of stretch to include wherever you're at the time. I think that's part of her gradually coming into interacting with the rest of the world more, instead of trying to shore up power just from inside the fortress of herself.
In fact, we get some time in this book where, like, it is tried to appraise. You're a witch. You shouldn't be having trinkets. You shouldn't have some, like, special horse pendant. You have to let go of the horse, which I would never, personally.
No,
but
never.
Mm-hmm.
Of course not.
Of course, she does try to get rid of it, and it comes back to her.
Well, yeah, because it also getting rid of it didn't help.
It didn't help. I kind of thought the entire gimmick was going to be, yeah, no, he's not tracing the pendant. He's tracing your goddamn scar. But
yeah.
But instead,
that turned out to not be the
he was
case.
just tracing her because she was the goddess.
Instead, it just doesn't really matter. Eventually, I guess she gets the pendant back anyways.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I think just kind of like the cornucopia, which I also think just kind of like disappears.
I think that
the cornucopia was just kind of a funny aside.
Yeah.
I think that was very much, just Pratchett had the idea of using a cornucopia like a gun and really, really wanted to make that real. Which, admittedly, is a fucking great gag. That's really fun.
Yeah.
Like, use the cornucopia going strawberry and shooting a strawberry at something so it bounces off a wall. Fantastic.
Yeah, I love that it shot out chickens. That was great.
Yeah. Having a cornucopia chicken gun is such a perfectly 2006 ass joke.
It is.
Yeah, future Iris, remind me to put in the what was it, the song "Put It in the Cornucopia"?
Yeah,
from, an internet meme from like the 2000s. Maybe at the end of this episode or something. Just edit it.
My cornucopia.
Wow, you're horny of plenty.
Ah,
very wise.
Iris, yours is much better. I want you to know.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm trying to find other jokes and stuff I like. There was a good quote that wasn't a joke, but
Hey, do we talk about how Tiffany is fighting evil by moonlight?
Oh my god, just like a sailor of a lunar persuasion. Oh yeah,
She is also kind of winning love by daylight. Go ahead.
When they're burying Miss Treason, Tiffany remembers the words that her dad had said over the grave of Tiffany Aching, which is, "If any ground is consecrate, this ground is. If any day is holy, it is this day," which is such a beautiful way to, like, it's a great thing to say at a grave without being very specifically like adhering to any one religion or anything. That's like, yeah, we're here. This is now. We are going to remember this day from here on forward. I'm gonna pinch that for something.
Speaking of crushes and all of that, as we talked about earlier, what did y'all think of Roland in this book?
Roland was on his own little adventure.
Yeah, he did his best, and I'm very glad that both Roland and Wentworth are both actually developing as people.
Yeah. Wentworth likes fishing. Good for him.
Yeah, he's also no longer like 3 years old, so that's nice.
And Roland is having his own fucking Light Yagami Death Note ass moment.
Yeah, he is very much going through an entire parallel adventure series right now because he's being forced to contend against evil stepmothers.
Yeah. He's going through his own series of unfortunate events.
Yeah.
It's funny how well he's holding out though. Like all of this is happening to him, but everything he says about it is just like, well, that's just how they are. Just what it is to be a kid. Sometimes your aunts try and kill you and are probably trying to kill your father and stealing all of your stuff, but you can get one over on them if you're good. That's normal.
Oh, you just gotta barricade yourself in your room with a big sack of potatoes.
This is a pretty pragmatic way to approach royalty.
Yeah, I'm very serious that I think the whole gag was supposed to be that he's on his own entire adventure that you could fill entire books with. And good on him. He's honestly doing great given the circumstances.
Yeah, and he's there to be sort of a, to kind of counterbalance our Wintersmith as like, here's your normal human love interest, and here's your like, fucked up Winterman, and everyone gets to like tease Tiffany, be like, oh, so there's a boy you like.
Yeah, he's so much more interesting than my boring, normal human guy who also interacted with a woman recently, and which I am incredibly jealous about.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's just trying to fucking get out of his room.
Yeah. So no boys ever showed me his watercolors.
And then it turns out that he sent her watercolors and they just got lost in the mail.
That reminds me, I wanted to say, this book is so heterosexual. Like,
yeah.
Why do you think I wrote Headslop?
Like
we asked you why you wrote Headslop. You didn't remember until just now.
Oh, it was very straight. I thought that stood for itself.
No,
yes,
yeah, like,
being straight is what you mean by Headslop. I get it.
And also, like, the whole story is resolved when Tiffany melts the Wintersmith with a kiss.
For the record, I thought you said head slop, and I was like,
oh. No, with the cheese.
She's slopping on it? What does this mean? I don't understand.
Yeah,
I'm kind of worried.
What is this headology slop?
If the Wintersmith had been a hot lady instead, then yeah, I would.
Yeah, love would have won.
I would have never shut up how angry I was that she got robbed at the end.
The season's passing is Yuri.
I
Yes.
do want to ask. So I agree. This is very. It is a very heterosexual book. By that measure, which Discworld book that we've read to date would you say is the least heterosexual one? Which is the gayest
Regiment,
Discworld,
right? Monstrous Regiment is definitely the most trans.
Yeah, I mean,
but that's not the same
Monstrous
thing.
Regiment just for queerness, because like, I mean, it also does have the gay characters. It has Tonker and Lofty, who are like.
That is true. Yeah, I guess it would be Monstrous Regiment. Yeah,
I think it has to be just because if you're writing a book about an army regiment of nothing but girls, that kind of it also shows up.
To put this in a much worse way, if it wasn't Monstrous Regiment, we'd be stuck with Two Flower and Rincewind.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yes, it's Monstrous Regiment.
Yeah,
Monstrous
or like
Regiment, really special book of the canon, really one of my faves.
Or like you have to like remember who Cohen is. You don't want to have to do that.
Oh, I don't want Cohen to be the icon of homosexuality for Discworld.
I don't want Cohen to be anything.
No. He should have stayed back in the light fantastic. But yeah, no, very like kind of in the same way a lot of kids media kind of strangely is, where it's like, oh yeah, well we're gonna talk about relationship shit right now. Stuff like that always strikes me personally as a little odd. It's not like I don't think people should do. I mean, writers can do whatever they want, but like for me personally, when I was 13, the idea of having a girlfriend was so far from my mind at the time that like I couldn't even I just watched TV and was like, oh, this is a thing that normal people probably do, and I'm probably not normal because I don't think about this at all. I don't feel like I'm ready for it yet. And I wasn't ready for that kind of thing until I was like senior year of high school, I want to say. I don't know. And even then, I wouldn't say I was ready. I just thought I was ready. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. I didn't fall in love until my 30s, so like...
Yeah.
I don't know. And more importantly, like, again, we're being reminded who Terry Pratchett is. Like, it's not that he's being homophobic or anything. It just was not really a major part of his worldview. He's perfectly aware that homosexual people exist, but he doesn't really think about them very much unless there's a reason for it to come up.
Yeah, I would not expect him to like. I would not expect him to make the book gay.
No,
but it's still, you know. How come heterosexuality is always the default? Blah blah blah. The conversation's been had a zillion times before. It doesn't resonate with me as much.
It's not a problem with Terry. It's a problem with just like the monoculture at large.
Yeah, society.
I just kept thinking about the moment when she's reading the romance novel and she's like, why does the girl have to choose anyways? You know, I'm like, mood.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, he may not think about what if someone was gay very often, but he seems to think about what if someone was multiple people like constantly, because it's kept coming up.
Yeah, that's
especially in the witches books.
This keeps happening.
Yeah, Tiffany still has that guy in her head translating stuff for her.
It's very funny.
And she has her third thoughts.
The whole gag of the third thoughts showing up in a dream and them just having a bunch of conversations that are all like, not at all like, this is bad, or I don't like this, or this is wrong, but just like, yeah, this tracks. Hey, can you like not be, can you be inside my head again, because it's really annoying otherwise. Yeah, that's fine. That's just like really normal conversations with yourself. It's very funny.
Sometimes you just need like somebody to bounce ideas off of. It happens. If I had a clone that was like mind hived with me, that's basically what I'd be doing with her all the time. That and weird sex, but like also just getting feedback on internal thought stuff.
When we spend so much of the book inside of a character's head, it gets a little bit lonely.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Was there anything else we wanted to talk about with this?
Hey, how about the Nac Mac Feegles, huh? They're in this book.
They're technically
They make friends with the cheese.
They did have my actual favorite joke in the book. I'll give them that. It's a very dumb one, which is when one of them calls the cheese. There's a living cheese wheel in this book, by the way. We didn't mention that, but there's a living cheese wheel, Horace, and the other one goes, how do you know the cheese's name? And the one goes, well, he told me. And the other one goes, oh, well, I can't argue with the cheese.
Yeah, pretty good.
Okay. Immediately gives up because the cheese would know his name.
I couldn't argue with the cheese.
They're here. They're funny. They do a lot of gags. Everyone's really normal about them. In previous books, it was like, oh, they're so fucked up. No one knows about them except Tiffany. And now it's like, yeah, most of the witches see them and are like, yeah, okay. It's those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all used to them by now.
Yeah, the time knife. We've all seen it.
We've all seen the evil Smurfs.
Yeah, it is. I will say that it has been kind of metatextually amusing that in the first book it's like the Wee Free Men, the story about the Nac Mac Feegles and their interaction with one very special girl. I'm like, wow, look at these wacky little guys. That's so much fun. But by book 3, I'm like, oh, and I guess the Feegles are here. Okay, sure.
Yeah, they're here. We get a decent joke about how there's a really low door to limbo. Oh yeah, they go into like they do like a whole Orpheus thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I actually liked that section, and I adored that Roland gets a character moment of just being so deeply pissed off and traumatized about his time with the Elf Queen that the idea of a creature that eats part of your mind just drives him into a frothing rage.
That was so sick.
That was so honestly great. That was like, that justified his entire reason to be in this book at all, which is good because there was no reason to need to go and get Summer out of the Netherworld. She could have just showed up afterwards. It did not matter.
But anger is the god's way of reminding you that you are in fact alive.
Also, Iodine is a beautiful name for a girl.
You know, it is. It is. I expect I'll run into a trans gal named Iodine someday.
Yeah. You gotta meet a little Iodine somewhere.
I had never met a Dine I didn't like. Hey-o!
Ah!
Ring-a-ding-ding, baby!
Yeah,
What other things? Oh, we got a Groat cameo in this. There were a bunch of weird
we
callbacks
got a
to other books
Gromans.
in this. We're getting more integrated with the rest of Discworld here.
They mention a bunch of things. It's not like none of the stuff matters really, except for the witches stuff.
No.
But they keep going, hey, remember this guy? Remember this guy?
These
I will say that
little cameos to hopefully trick kids into reading the rest of the books.
Yeah, I will say this book does rest on the top of the previous 2 Tiffany Aching books a lot, so I wouldn't start with this one. But I could see how like the rest of the Discworld stuff really does feel like kind of like little like Easter eggs, like little sprinkles in there. It's like, hey, if you like this, maybe you might enjoy seeing one of these other fine books stretching all the way back to the 1980s.
Yeah, maybe not that far.
Maybe not that far, but some of the more recent stuff. Now there is a podcast hosted by 4 incredibly attractive and smart
You
people.
should listen to our first few episodes. I'm so embarrassed by how Light Fantastic went.
The 3.5 hours we spent on the Light Fantastic, I think, is worth every second.
The secret is to just not have any working memory at all. I don't remember that episode at all.
Listen,
Well, it is on record. You can go back and listen to it.
Oh,
It's
God.
ludonarrative harmony. It's like, much like how the Light Fantastic isn't very good.
After we finish the Discoverers podcast, we will, of course, be doing Discoverers, where we go through and rank and review every single Discoverers podcast episode.
I will never forgive myself for not finishing the book for the first episode.
Well, we just gotta, after we finish all of the Discworld books, we gotta go back and do The Color of Magic again to see if our thoughts on it have changed at all. We gotta make that a bonus.
That would be a 30-second episode.
The answer would be no.
So do you think it's any better?
Nope.
No.
If anything, it's worse.
But I feel like now that we've tasted heaven, now that we've tasted manners from heaven, you're not going to go back to Eric. I'd also like to apologize for trying to cover it beat by beat like I do with TV shows. That obviously did not work, and I'm sorry.
Well, no, it's fine. We were still figuring out the form.
Yeah, I think that.
Yeah.
I mean, Belina is such an incredible synoptrix at this point.
Yeah.
You've got it down to a science.
Also, it was a weird book. It kind of needed to be covered beat by beat because it was just a bunch of beats. It didn't really have
Yeah, it was like a bunch of short stories.
There weren't themes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This book has themes.
Yeah, we got stuff like force-femmed wizard magic.
Yeah. I hear there's more force-femmed wizard magic later on in the next book. I'm excited to get to that.
In making money?
No, not in the next Tiffany Aching book.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense.
I'm excited.
If there's force-femming and making money, though, holy shit. Real big upswing in force-femming near the end
God,
with
you're
the
right,
Discworld
yeah.
series. I wonder what that was about.
Listen, he's getting there.
Yeah,
Anyways.
there's some interesting ideas in this book. Just kind of, like I said, I mean, I was joking about like it being kind of about you doing this on your own, but like, I mean, that's kind of a lot of what Tiffany struggles with is just this idea of this is your responsibility. You mess this up, you have to handle it. No one can do this for you. You have to do it. Your parents, you can't technically rely on them. You're the witch now. You got to handle it. And like, there's a bunch of people who help her, obviously, but it comes down to her in the end. It's something I think Pratchett thought a lot about because it's very Samuel Vimes too, in this sense of like, who watches the Watchmen? It's me. I do it. I'm the person who does it.
Yep.
Yeah. Just this. It is
I think
it's very Christian, for lack of a better way to say it. This sense of just like, you have to be on guard at all times in that way. Very Tolkien.
I think that there is a certain degree of, if you don't do this, then somebody else will, but you'll never hear the end of it. Which isn't quite the same thing, but it's its next door neighbor.
Yeah, it's the very funny version of this, which is like, instead of avoiding this because like you don't want to instead of avoiding this because you don't want to like fuck everything up because it's this really serious thing, avoiding it because come on, you gotta, it's gonna be annoying if you don't.
If she had not stepped in and made all the arrangements with Anagramma, somebody else would have stepped in, but it would have gone worse. And there were parts like, remember, like when Anagramma says, "What the hell are you using this broken down broom for? Take mine, you idiot." There are several points there where she is just so beaten down that she just can't keep going, and somebody else has to pick her up. And that it is important that there are things that you have to do yourself, but you have to recognize that those aren't the majority of things.
Yeah, it's complicated. I think he's kind of pulling himself in two directions. One with the community of the witches and all of this stuff, but the other in this deep sense of responsibility. You have to do this. That is very key to the book. Two different ideas running into each other in interesting ways. I'm not sure he's aware of that contradiction. Not contradiction, but conflict
I think he
in it.
Was,
but
honestly,
yeah, it is a core part of the book.
Like, there is no easy lesson for what stuff can be done by yourself and what stuff can be done with the help of the community, and you have to learn how to navigate that. You can't just learn an easy answer for it.
Yeah, and a lot of the book is just kind of struggling through it, just going through it. You keep going. You just live through what's happening and hope that a solution shows up. It's good. I like this book. It's not one of my favorites, but I liked it. It's a good time. I enjoyed reading it quite a bit.
Would you be able to put an exact numerical amount?
Well, before we do that, real
how
quick,
much you liked it.
Before we do that, real quick, what did y'all think of the album?
God,
I thought it was pretty good. I was listening to it at work. I thought it was like pretty good.
So
this is gonna sound like Davik with faint praise, but this is like I liked it more than this. But like, it sounds like an actual album. If you like had this on in the car, I don't think someone would notice. It's a tie-in album for a children's novel.
So for the record, for context, while I was looking this good book up on Wikipedia, just trying to find information about it, the book came out in 2006. Then in 2013, the band Steel Eye Span, which is like a British
folk
group that's just kind of been doing stuff since like the 1960s, just still going and like does folk prog rock at like festivals and stuff. I don't know the history of them. I can't tell the difference between something that is only popular amongst nerds and only popular amongst nerds but had a little bit of mainstream success. None of that matters because Pratchett was a huge fan of them, because Pratchett is a huge nerd. Out of every author I've seen who like is a nerd, Pratchett's one of the ones who was the most like, yeah, he sure is. All of his interests were really embarrassing stuff, like playing too much Morrowind and arguing about it with people on IRC chat, like that sort of stuff.
You're listening to this Ren Fair type beat.
Yeah. But he loved them and like saw them in concert a ton of times, and then they did an album and he did audio, like some voice stuff on it, and it was like a collaborative thing. So yeah,
It's
pretty good.
I didn't like it that much, but that was mostly because I realized I don't really like this kind of music. I don't like the like we how to say this. I have very high standards for fan music and lyric writing in that, and it was like, this is okay.
Yeah,
it was fine. It was a good time. I liked the more musical tracks.
Yeah,
I was annoyed that they did a song about the Dark Morris, given that like the whole bit of it is that there's no song, right?
Yeah, it's just a dance.
Yeah, like it's supposed to literally just be a dance with no music.
Like,
but you don't have a music track. You gotta have an album here, baby.
It would have been very funny for there to be a blank track.
that would have fit, because like the album is a greatest hits of things that happened in the book. So honestly, it was nice to refresh myself before doing this episode. Just like, oh yeah, that happens.
It's worth checking out if you're a fan of Tiffany Aching stuff, or if you're a fan of British folk music, or a fan of musical projects that also involve nerdy stuff. I'll link to it in the show notes.
Yeah. One more thing from the book is Death shows up. Miss Treason tries to get Tiffany to curtsy. It's like, I don't know. Granny Aching wouldn't have liked that. Never bend the knee to tyrants.
I loved that quote so much.
Yeah.
Such a good, but I know I remembered it. I had to pull up your screenshot of it because I wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, no, it was such a good quote. I like the different approaches to Gwen. I was thinking about my girlfriend.
Nice.
I like my girlfriend.
Yeah.
No, I like the different
Hi,
approaches to
Gwen.
death that she has, the slightly different opinions she has. I like that there's a little bit of Tiffany that's slightly different from everybody. It's good. I love
Yeah,
her.
she's
a great character.
She's from a different tradition of witching. She learned a lot from her grandmother, who is kind of off doing her own thing in her own little tide pool.
Mm-hmm. But no less powerful for it.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, ranking. The thing we do every episode.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's check out where our last Tiffany Aching book fell. That was number 15, A Hatful of Sky, right below Thief of Time. Oh, thank you. And above The Wee Free Men. Now, would we say this was more enjoyable to read and on the whole better than The Wee Free Men?
Yes.
Yeah, better than the first Tiffany Aching book, absolutely.
Yeah. Would we say it was better than Hatful of Sky?
I remember finishing this one and being less enthused about it. But now that we've talked about it, I'm like kind of jazzing myself up.
Okay. Would you say that it was better or worse than Thief of Time? And I know my position on this, and I don't want to influence y'all, but I do have a position on this.
I think it's probably better than Thief of Time.
Really? Okay. I really like Thief of Time.
I like Thief of Time a lot too.
I like Thief of...
It might be recency bias, admittedly.
It's always the hardest part, isn't it?
So the one above Thief of Time is Hogfather, and I don't think
this does not
Hogfather.
this is not
no,
clear
it's no Hogfather.
I mean, I think there is some contention, whether it is better or worse than Thief of Time.
I could see it being... I could put my personal preferences aside and say that it is a more concise and together book of than Thief of Time was. Because Thief of Time was the weird Doctor Who-style book that had a lot of extraneous parts to it, and that was really kind of a gamble with how it all fit together.
Yeah, but it also had Unity in it, and I love her.
It did have Unity in it. It did have the cool time monks, which I love.
Unity actually succeeded in being human. So I guess that gives her an edge over the Wintersmith.
Damn.
She's so cool. I love her so much. I miss her. I don't know.
Bring her back.
I think I'd put this below Thief of Time personally, but I wouldn't be.
Yeah.
I'd be fine either way, honestly.
I could be convinced to put it below Thief of Time. Again, it's probably recency bias talk. We just spent now we're talking about how good this one was.
I think the biggest
we haven't talked about how good Thief of Time was for a couple years.
I think the biggest problem is that when I look at slots 11 through 16, honestly, Reaperman, well, not Reaperman, slots 12 through 16, Men at Arms, Hogfather, Thief of Time, Hatful of Sky, We Free Men, and this, it's all just books where I'm honestly, Lords and Ladies in Masquerade too, it's all just books where I'm wow, that was a good time. I really enjoyed that book. I'm not super oh, that was so good, but also I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. The gags were good. It was solid. They all fall into the same group of. There's a good one. There's a solid one.
That was fine.
Yeah, we have a substantial mid card now that we can point to and be okay, so this is these are the books that are maybe they shouldn't be your first Discworld books, but they could easily be your second Discworld book.
Yeah. They're all good.
I'd say this book also, Wintersmith did not have any sick-ass time kung fu in it, so I'm going to say we put it below Thief of Time.
It is important that we make a few of these just off of just bafflingly arbitrary arguments, so...
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but, I mean, if... Thief of Time did have the sick-ass time kung fu, and I do have to give it points for that.
You can go make your own podcast if you don't like this one, chump.
Yeah, that's true. Plenty of people do.
See you in 5 years or whatever.
Much as I feel disgusted to admit it, we are not the only Discworld read-through podcast.
Yeah, but we are the best one.
We are the best one,
Absolutely
and you
the
know
best
why?
one.
It's because we rank the books.
Yeah.
How many
So-
of them have a chart like this?
None at all. By the way, I want to be clear. I know other people on other Discord podcasts listen to us, and I want to be clear. I am kidding. Y'all do amazing work. And the only reason I haven't listened to more of your shows is because we are significantly behind all of you, and I don't want any of your opinions to influence ours.
Yeah.
But from what I've heard, oh yeah, we are among big brain geniuses. Unfortunately, we are kind of the biggest of brains because we do have the ranking list, and I'm not going to
Yeah.
budge on that.
We're so wise.
But yeah, thank you for listening to Discoverers. You are very special for listening to the show, and we like you a lot. Next episode we're going to be covering is Making Money, featuring the return of our boy, Moist von Lipwig, as he takes on the Ankh-Morpork Mint, printing actual currency.
I'm excited.
Finally.
Yeah, I haven't read this one either, so or no, I think I might have, but I don't remember literally anything about it. So I'm excited to get back to it.
Exciting.
Yeah, you can find us online at discpod.fun. You can also catch us on the social medias at Blue Sky at Discpod. We're on Tumblr at Discpod, and we're on Mastodon at Discpod at queer.party. You can message us there, or you can send us emails. Let me check around real quick to see if we got any messages. Oh, this is going to be sign in and shit. Hello! Future Iris here, just cutting in while I'm finishing up editing this episode to mention that there were some emails, and very insightful and thoughtful emails they were too. So I wanted to give them a shout out. These are from kind of just all over the back half of this year. I want to give a shout out to Brian for his message on soul music. Just learned about your podcast from a Reddit. I'm listening to it from the beginning, just finishing the Interesting Times episode, a book as miserable as you say it is. You mentioned during the soul music episode there's probably a good intro to Discworld for a Discworld virgin. That is in fact exactly how I got into it. I was dating a woman who got me into a few authors, and soul music was her intro for Pratchett. This was in 2005-06 probably. Yeah. Oh, also, Brian cheated a bit and looked at our most current rankings. Does not always agree with our rankings, but is very open to hearing the group's reasoning. I hope you are enjoying our coverage of the Banger era and what we're tentatively referring to as the Twilight era after this, or maybe the Encore. I think Encore era sounds better because then it's like Terry doesn't have anything left to prove. He doesn't have to do shit. He's already made his bones. But yeah, no, thank you for listening, Brian. It was wonderful hearing from you. We got a really fascinating email from Drano on the topic of Discworld dwarfs and Jewish coding. Drano himself is Jewish and had a lot of really cool things to say about some background information and perspectives on how Terry handles the dwarves' relationship with Judaism in the Discworld books. It's a little long, so I'm going to summarize a bunch. I'm gonna popcorn it here. But he does say that while Discworld dwarfs do feel a little Jewish coded because of their ethno-religion and the arc of their integration within Ankh-Morpork, it's pretty light, and it tends to be more influenced by their position in fantasy as a race that was started by people in a much earlier era, like Tolkien, fleshing them out as Jewish, and Terry kind of putting his own postmodern spin on that. When Terry starts fleshing out dwarf culture in Feet of Clay, the post-Tolkien Jewish stereotype aspects of dwarves mostly get left behind, and the defining cultural characteristics are the gender stuff, TM, and the politics stuff, TM. Drano also brought up a really fascinating point that I didn't know about. From the line, "Tact does not require that we think of him, only that we think." This idea is very Jewish to me. It's a boiled-down version of the reason that Judaism, the religion, is compatible with atheism in a way that Christianity is not. Jewish atheism is actually quite common among diaspora Jews. One of my childhood temple's rabbis identified as explicitly atheist. It certainly seems like nobody believes in Tak in universe, since we never see Tak as a character like we do all the other gods. It's interesting that both the dwarves and the definitely Jewish-coded but not anti-Semitic golems are explicitly called out as atheist. I wasn't aware that was a thing. That's so cool. Also, Drano makes a really good point. While the Deep Downer dwarves can be compared to ultra-Orthodox American Jews, their behavior is by no means specific to sort of Jewish fundamentalist communities. And if anything, they share more similarities to communities like the Amish or Mennonites. This concept of kind of creating a anachronistic enclave to prove how holier than everyone else you are is not necessarily endemic to any one religion. I pretty much feel like as long as you have a religion that's any sort of age, you're probably going to get people like that. So thank you for pointing that out, Drano. We appreciate that. Also, I super agree that I also wish Terry had brought back Casanunda for later books. What a character. We never got to see more of him, but man, there's a guy I love to see every time he shows up. Hell yeah. Thank you very much for writing in, Drano. Really appreciate it. Also, we got one from Barbara Samuelson. Hi, I really enjoy how Discworld captures the fun side of music culture. It feels like sitting in a green room swapping stories between sets. I'd love to be a guest and share insights from my experience as a DJ and MC. We could talk about how DJs keep party energy alive. I don't think this is a serious email. I think maybe this is a spam email. Barbara, if you want to get on our show and talk about the Discworld books, maybe. As far as I'm aware, none of the Discworld books are about DJing or EDM. But I haven't read all the Tiffany Aching novels, and I could be wrong. So, hit us back, I guess. Anyways, thank you all for joining me. Another slight word. We're probably going to be changing the Mastodon account from queer.party to a different one because queer.party is shutting down soon. So if you're on Mastodon, we're going to make posts about that once this episode goes up. Most likely it'll be going over to my husband's instance, postomo.de. So we're going to do a account transfer. You'll see, again, I'll make posts about it on the current Mastodon account. That's it for now. Future Iris logging off to finish editing this episode because it's already way overdue. Okay, peace. I'll cover this. I'll record a separate part about this later if we have any. I always forget to open up the emails when we're actually recording the show because I'm a dunce. But yeah, by the time you listen to this, our bonus episode on the adaptation of Going Postal for movies will also be out by now. I haven't finished editing it yet because fall has been crazy and I had a bit of a health scare, but whatever. My name's Iris J. You can find me at irisj.net. I have a Patreon, patreon.com/irisj. I revamped it recently. There'll be going to be a lot more stuff coming out there from here on out. And I'm at, you can buy stuff, including comics from me at shop.irisj.net.
They're good comics.
Merchandise too, yeah. Feel free to send me a silly little $1 and I'll make you do a silly little dance. For the thing I'm going to recommend, I want to recommend a comic that is currently coming out on the Manga Plus app. Kurumizawa's Folly. Fantastic comic. Want to recommend it. It is not to spoil too much of it, but it's about an aging manga creator who hit it big earlier on. This takes place back in like the 1970s, back in like the Showa era. And it's one of those like comics about making comics where it's kind of about the nitty gritty of the inside of the manga industry. But this guy has had writer's block for the past 6 years and he's really at the end of his rope. But then he finds a talented young creator who's super influenced by him and who also makes his own comics that are really, really fresh and good. Unfortunately, his only stumbling block is that he cannot read or write. He can only he's only semi-literate. So Kurumizawa is like, oh, hey, I'll take you under my wing as a protege. It'll be fine. Well, we're going to get your story out to the world, and it's going to be super cool. And the story is about Kurumizawa not being as good of a person as he likes to let on. It has such like a just a greasy, like uncomfortable feeling as you watch the screw get twisted over the course of the story. And the art is so like, it's part of that like neo-retro revival in manga and anime right now, where there's a lot of people who are going back and studying a lot of the earlier works of manga and bringing stylistic earmarks and storytelling techniques into a more modern context. So it's this cool fusion of past and present. The author of this previously worked on the series. It's like Buddy Daddies or Daddy Buddies. I forget the name of it, but it's really neat to see him switch up his style so much and work in a totally different Mien to go for a totally different and unexpected vibe. I'm really excited about where it's going to go. If it ends in 3 books, whatever, we got what we got, but I hope it'll go longer than that. Check that out.
I'm still Belina. You can still find me in the show notes. I don't want to take away anything from how incredible that presentation just was, so I'm just passing on my plugs to whoever wants them.
I have been the internet's beloved Princess Grace. You can find my writing programs, podcast posts, and everything else I fit to plug at princess.software. As for recommendations, I've been busy, but have you tried OpenTTD? It's probably the best open source video game there is. It's a perfect clone of Transport Tycoon from way back when.
Ooh.
If you want to watch your little trains drive around, perfect video game.
I kind of do
Free.
want to watch that. I'll check that out. I could put it on my Linux machine.
It's free. It's open source. It's on Steam and everywhere else. It's incredible. The music's good. Perfect video game.
Okay. Is this because of 3-panel Soul, or is that just a coincidence?
No coincidence.
Okay.
I was just
making
about it.
sure.
I gotta look that up.
I am as always Juniper. You can find me online. Mostly right now I'm streaming on twitch.tv/Juniper Theory. I'm doing cool stuff there. Come watch me because I'm awesome. In terms of things I'm going to recommend, I am browsing Belina's blog to try and find anything interesting that Belina has enjoyed recently to steal that. I think I'm just going to say the most recent Fallen London exceptional story was written by Heather Flowers and is incredibly good.
Yeah!
Great gender.
It's so
you should
good.
Check it out. If you can't play it, find someone who can and ask them to show it to you. It's great stuff.
It was really good.
It
did horrible things to the game engine. We now know it's capable of things that it never should have been allowed to do.
I love fucking wins.
If you're this deep into this Discworld podcast and you haven't at least tried Fallen London, you kind of owe it to yourself to try Fallen London at this point.
Hey, listener, I bet you're going to like either Fallen London or Open TTD, possibly both.
Yeah.
I'll recommend the video game Whisper of the House, which is a Chinese game that is it's an unpacking like. If you've played Unpacking, you know what it is, except instead of being like a solemn story about someone's life and the places that they lived, it's just a bunch of funny little buildings you put stuff in and then discover little stories in those places. It's got really good pixel art and is really cute. It's like just a good time. I played it on the plane on the way home. It's a very good time to just play through and relax with. It's like $15. If you just want to sit around and like listen to a podcast while taking things out of boxes and putting them on shelves and decorating a house, it's really great. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds quite nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
And with that, yeah, we'll see you next week when we finally figure out how to make money.
Yeah. Well, not next week. Probably next month or longer.
No, we're doing it next week.
We'll see you next time. Next week.
Yeah,
we're going to read a book in a... Well, you can read a book in a week. I don't have the brain for that.
I only get these done in a blind panic in the last several days, usually. But then, we have to bump things along because everyone's got real lives.
Yeah. I got to experience being a keener for the first time. It was nice. Also, so in America we were called a teacher's pet. In Canada, they like the person who does all the homework and does all the bonus work and is like a real A+ student. In Canada, they call it a keener.
Oh, because they're keen to do the work.
Yeah, that's a cadism I learned recently, and that was stuck in my brain.
You had me really excited that I thought it was more like the funerary practice, but oh well, you did not get to spend a bunch of time screaming out a high pitched tone.
I was I was just thinking of the band that got that one hit, Someplace Only We Know, but yeah, no, different thing.
Me, I'm trying to keen her. I'm trying to wint her Smith.
We saved all our best jokes for the very end.
Yep, we usually do.
The Wintersmith is somebody who's trying to make a gender-flipped version of drill.
There we go.
Anyways, truly, she was a Wintersmith. Thank you for listening, everybody. Have a good night.
Of wins.
Remember, kiss your sheep and not on the mouth.
Keep us warm through the long winter night. Flames keep away the fearsome sight of the Wintersmith. Wintersmith. Something in the cornucopia side. Something in the cornucopia Milky Way. Something in the cornucopia cornucopia. Something in the cornucopia Western Cloud. Something in the cornucopia Enter. Something in the cornucopia Horseman. Something in the